Okay, you guys. Well, welcome everyone. I think we're going to go ahead and jump in because I want to maximize the amount of time that we have for the cooking portion of this evening. And like I said, a lot of you guys are pros already. Thanks for everybody for the housekeeping, right? Just making sure our microphones are muted, our cameras are off. So again, we can maximize Chef Alyssa and see what she's cooking up. And we do, of course, encourage questions and interaction throughout our time together today. We just prefer to do that in the chat since we do have a big group. It can get a little messy if we all unmute at the same time and talk over each other. So I will keep an eye out in the chat as well for that. And just in way of introduction, if it is your first time with us, so Allison, she's actually on vacation today, so she's not joining us today, but she's usually here. She's with us in spirit. And then we have our awesome Chef Alyssa. She's been a personal chef for over 25 years, and we're so lucky to have her here to share her wonderful flavor combinations and just making sure we know that, you know what, good food can taste good too, which I think is what we're all here for. And then my name is Heather Charles. I'm a wellness coach. I'm over on the island of Maui, and I'll be helping to facilitate our time together today. So we hope to just spark your interest and your curiosity about this whole plant-based movement while increasing your confidence level in being able to prepare, you know, these meals. And so now you might be asking yourself, right, well, what's so special? Why would I even want to consider this whole food plant-based diet? Well, in addition to reducing your carbon footprint, it's also the only diet shown to prevent and reverse chronic diseases such as type 2 diabetes and coronary artery disease. That's a really big deal, you guys. Preventing and reversing disease. So food is the medicine. And think about how much food choices we make every single day and that adds up over time. So, but what does that mean? What is a whole food plant-based? It means that we want to eat food in its most natural form, things that our ancestors would recognize as food, right? If they came back in time, would they go, what is a bag of Cheetos, right? They wouldn't recognize what that is. So we want whole foods, whole fruits, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds, and those are the ingredients that you're going to see in the recipes that we are sharing with you. So at the same time as maximizing certain foods, we also want to minimize our processed foods, refined and added sugars, white flours, and our animal-derived foods. So working those both ways. And I know this can seem a little daunting, right? Some of these things, you know, we've been eating this way all of our life for decades, most of us. And that's why we try to simplify it. Michael Pollan, he's the author and a journalist. He's written several books on this. He came up with these 3 simple points. We want to eat the food. We don't want to eat too much. And we want to eat mostly plants. I just actually, I don't know if you guys have watched, there's that Blue Zones video on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen that, Chef Alyssa, but yeah, they were talking about the centenarians, people who live to be over 100, and most of them have a very plant-centric diet where meat is only used on special occasions or seen as more of a side dish or kind of a sprinkling on the side. So, you know, we got to take it from people who have actually lived it and are living the longest on this planet, and they're following this diet as well. So again, we hope to just kind of plant that seed of curiosity and hope that you'll take these recipes home and actually try them. Don't just watch it, but with your eyes, but we want you to eat it as well. And if you want some more information about this, I would also encourage you to check out a video series that Stanford School of Medicine put together. It's in 2016 called Food and Health. And it's a great series of 17 videos. They're short, they're like 3 to 5 minutes, and they give really practical information on the how and the why, again, that we might want to consider moving in this direction. So I'm just going to put that link in the chat there, and that goes to, again, that YouTube series that I encourage you to check out on your own as well. So moving forward, just take a brief moment. You did get some handouts that were included in your registration email that kind of introduce you to, again, well, what does eating a plant-based plate look like? And that's why we have this here on the screen, because most of us grew up with that you know, food pyramid, the diagram, and now it's switched based on new research and data to this healthy plate concept. So it's divided into 3 parts, and the main thing is half of that plate is filled with vegetables. So we want to aim for. They're really the star of the plate. And then a fourth of it is with whole grains and the other fourth with a lean protein. Notice we say protein versus meat, right? So that means plant proteins, which is what we're introducing you into this class. That's everybody's fear. What do you eat for protein? And I think I'm plant-based. I know Chef Alyssa is plant-based. We're both here. We're alive. We're healthy to tell you it is possible, right, Chef Alyssa?
Yes.
And if you want to learn more about the healthy plate, we actually have a separate 90-minute virtual class that our dietitians teach called Get Your Plate in Shape. And it explores different variations of meals in that format. And I'll share some of those additional resources at the end of the day. So just want to take a moment here. Welcome, Joy. We see you there. I'm glad you could make it. Joy, is it possible for you to find where you could turn off the camera piece? And that way we can put all of our attention on Alyssa once we get started. But if you need help, let me know. There's usually like a little camera icon. It might pop up. While Joy's kind of looking for that, and I'll jump back with you. Before we get into the cooking, I'm going to pull up the recipes that Chef Alyssa is going to be preparing today. Thanks, Joy. So she can briefly review those ingredients with us. As a reminder, your email invitation to class did include links to these recipes, and I'm going to show that in just a minute. So if you have any questions, those recipes are in there. I'd be happy to pull them up again at the end of class today, or you can take a picture, with your phone while they're on the screen if you want a screenshot of it. I also want to just acknowledge there might be a range of people attending tonight. So as you saw, there's some people where this is their very first time, and maybe they're just wondering, what is this all about? What are they going to do today? How do I get more vegetables in? And some of you might have been on this path for a long time and you're refining it. And so we all come in with different levels of knowledge and resources. We are hoping to just keep nudging you along that path at the pace that you choose. So these recipes are adaptable to your personal tastes and preferences. If you're putting questions into the chat, I will be, punting them over to Chef Alyssa to kind of ask them so that you guys can get your questions answered. And we'll also pause and invite questions along the way, or if you need ideas on substitutions if needed. So I think I got just about everything in, and here's just a quick viewpoint. Again, this was in the registration email. So when you first registered, this would come out and it's got those links to the handouts that I was referring to, our class flyer for the year, as well as the two recipes for today, black bean meatballs and the chickpea save the tuna salad. And then Laura's asking a question, will this be recorded? Oh, I'm sorry that you're losing connection, Laura, but yes, the session is being recorded, and I think John sends it out to everybody, but I did send him a message to make sure that that's the case. Let's see. I think I got all the questions, but if not, feel free to flag it for me. And Chef Alyssa, I'm going to pass the mic over to you
Okay.
if you want to start highlighting our recipes for today.
Okay. So I see that we have the black bean meatballs are up on the highlighted right now. We'll talk a little bit about the ingredients. I've always wanted to make vegetarian meatballs. It's just, I always enjoyed it before I was a vegetarian. So it's kind of been on my bucket list. And so I kind of created this recipe, and it's using black beans. And so what we're going to do is we're going to process the black beans with other ingredients, and the black bean and the flax are actually the binding elements. So we've got chopped onions, we've got processed walnuts, Italian seasoning, salt and pepper, chili flakes, and then flax meal, which we'll add water to. And then a combination, I just did a combination, but you can do whatever you like, of nutritional yeast and a little bit, I happen to have some finely ground Parmesan. So I thought, oh, that would be perfect in this recipe. And so that's what we're going to be using as ingredients for this recipe. And I'll show you how to make it.
Yeah, okay. And just so you guys know, after we go through these recipes, I'm going to take my PowerPoint down and we will be highlighting Chef Alyssa and all of her cooking in just a minute. But let's do a high-level overview of the second recipe as well, which is the Save the Tuna salad.
Yeah, this is a nice, well, they're both easy, but this one's like super easy. The chickpea salad. So what we're going to be doing is we take a 2 cups or a can of chickpeas that are drained well, and then we process them so they're kind of chunky. And then we add onions and celery and carrots and relish and parsley and salt and pepper. And did I miss anything? Mustard and mayonnaise. And it's just like tuna salad ingredients. Excuse
And I
me.
have to say that's one of my favorite. It's one of my go-tos for it's like takes like 15 minutes. Once you kind of do it the first time, you get it
Yeah.
down, and it's so easy for lunch that I meal prep it all the time during the week. So I have to thank you for that recipe.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to take down this, and then
Okay.
hopefully you guys will see the food processor as the main part of your screen, and you can see Chef Alyssa over on the side.
Okay.
Give me a thumbs up if that's the case for you. Make sure I toggled it correctly. All right, and then I will just pass it over to you to start the cooking.
All
Thanks.
right. So the recipe called for microwaving the black beans. So you drain them, you rinse them, you pat them dry, but then you also microwave them to dry them out. If you're not comfortable with microwaving, you can bake them in the oven for like 10 to 15 minutes at 350, and then there won't be any residual moisture. So I went ahead and already did that. So I'm going to put this in the food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you could use like a potato masher in a bowl, or you could pulse it in a blender, like a kind of with a wide bottom, kind of like a Vitamix, and you could pulse it in. That'd be another option.
Can you mash it
So
with a fork too, or does that not work?
yes, you could. The black beans, depending upon the brand, they might be kind of
Harder.
firm.
Mm.
Yeah, harder. Excuse me. Yeah, but this brand is not bad. But I have, yeah, a fork, probably, yeah, depends upon the type of fork. But I have my old school, I don't know, I've had this forever, the shape of a
Yeah.
potato masher, and that works well.
Yeah.
I don't know, what's the norm, but that's the one I have. So I'm going to, but first I wanted to show you flax seeds. So this is what flax seeds look like before they're ground, and they're the yellow ones. There's brown flax seeds, and there is golden. These are golden, and the golden ones tend to have a milder flavor, so I use them all the time. And then what I do is I buy them whole, and I grind them up in like a spare coffee grinder. And then I use them, you add a little water, and it makes kind of like a thick, viscous consistency, kind of like an egg white. So I'm going to add my water in here. And you just kind of let it sit for a few minutes. So I figured I'll show you that now.
Yeah, and
You
this is
can
what
do
they call a
this.
flax egg, right? If you ever see that
Yes.
on a recipe, a flax egg. So it's an egg
Yes.
substitute.
And what I did, usually a flax egg is 1 table, at least this is what I've seen, Heather. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I usually see recipes, they'll call for a flax egg is 1 tablespoon of ground flax and 2 tablespoons water. But I just reduced it to 1 to 1, just because I really don't need, too much moisture. We're kind to move away from that. So I just want it to be like a really nice binding agent.
So can you repeat it one more time? So normally the flax seed is 1 tablespoon flax and how much water?
2 tablespoons water.
Oh, 2 tables, but you did 1 and 1.
I did 1 to 1
Okay.
for this. So, you can use chia. There's 2 kinds of chia too. There's the black chia, and then there's a white chia, which, if you're kind of in this recipe, that wouldn't matter. But if you're doing something like some sort of a raw dessert, snack ball or something, and you don't want the little black specks, the white chia It's also called, it's something you can choose. It's called Salba, S-A-L-B-A. So there's two options there. They work the same. Okay, so I'm going to go back to what we've got. So the flax meal. We're just going to put everything in the food processor. You can see how it's kind of thick now.
And does it have to sit for a certain amount of time to kind of bind up like that, or just?
Yeah, just a few minutes. You saw that one thickened up really fast.
Yeah, it did.
And then I'm going to add in the cheese substitute. It could be vegan Parmesan, nutritional yeast, regular Parmesan. Then I have ground walnuts. You could do, you know, if you're avoiding nuts, options here could be ground sunflower seeds. You could also do oats. That's another thing that you can put in here if you don't want to do nuts, like quick oats or kind of. And then I have some finely chopped red onion. And then I have, because I'm thinking of this as like a meatball flavor, you know, Italian, I have Italian seasoning, chili flakes, and salt. Now I've seen some other recipes where you can do barbecue sauce. So, you know, you could do, if you're going to do barbecue sauce, you could do cumin, right? You could do oregano. So you could play with your seasonings based on what your sauce is going to be. And then you can do tomato paste, or I did a little ketchup. Just add a little bit of sweetener to the tomato flavor. And then I'm just going to pulse this till it combines. I'm going to check it. So that doesn't take much. Then I'm going to turn that out onto a bowl. See here, maybe I can move this. Put you here. Does that work? Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it looks great. Wow, the food processor makes it so easy. You just kind of dump it in, pulse it a few times, and you're done.
And we're done. And then if you've seen me use this special tool before, I have 4 different or 5 different sizes. Okay, so I'm just, this is kind of nice because the last time I made it, it was, I didn't see the onions. It wasn't as chunky. I like this where I'm seeing some things in there, some texture. Okay, so I can get this out of the way, and then I have a parchment lined baking sheet. Okay, you here.
The nice thing, this would be an easy recipe to double, and I bet you could bake them and put them in the freezer, or you know, save them for meal prepping. You know, for quick nights. Yeah, and you can just kind of heat them up.
Yeah,
so I like that.
I've really been enjoying them.
And I like how you got different size. You can have like a snack size, or you can have a dinner size.
Yeah, so what I did last time was I used this one, and it made about 12 balls. And I thought, you know, that's kind of a 2-biter. But if you just want to have some small little meatballs, you know, I think that's a great size.
Yeah.
You know, that goes farther, right? I'm not sure.
Very good. And while she's rolling those up, do you guys have any questions? Yeah. I love how this can be really personalized to different flavor preferences. I'm sure there's a lot of different variations that you could do with it. Like you said, with the barbecue, if you're a barbecue person, different types of seasoning.
Yeah, but you know, I just realized I forgot to mince the garlic. So just believe that there's garlic in here, or garlic powder. So
a good substitute.
Yeah.
Good.
So then what we're going to do is put it in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. Usually I'm just watching. Now, if it's a smaller size and based on your oven, I tend to use a Breville Smart Oven on my countertop. You know, ovens are all different. They all have their different personalities and how their temperatures are.
Couple good questions coming in. Before I do that, Laura, just so you know, your camera is on. I don't know if it came back on, but just so you know,
Gosh,
just want you to be aware for your own privacy.
Beautiful.
And it's auto.
And then Chef Alyssa, we had questions. One of them is, can you make burger patties out of these? And the other one is, the recipe says you can use panko. Do you use the same amount?
Yes, I would use the same amount. It was interesting because I was actually looking in my cupboard, because when I keep my walnuts in the freezer, just like with the flax, keep it refrigerated, you know, freeze or refrigerate. It just increases the shelf life. But I took out my walnuts initially, and when I pulsed them, they completely turned into a paste, a smooth paste. And I think it was just the moisture have it being in the freezer. So then I, you know, took some more out. But I was starting to look for panko, because I was thinking, well, you know, maybe I'm going to use that today. But I didn't have any in my cupboard, which is unusual. So breadcrumbs, panko, that could definitely be substituted in the same amount.
Okay, great. And the other question was, could you, oh, wait, we had one follow-up question, but we do want to get to the burger patties. But what do the walnuts do in this recipe? Is it for consistency or for the taste? I think it's a binder, yeah?
Well, it's kind of multiple things, but yeah, it is adding a little bit of texture, you know, and depending upon how finely you chop it, it is also a good binder and adds some good healthy fats in it too. So it's kind of a little bit of everything.
I like how Laura said, and it adds nutrition, which it does. We get our omega-3s. And then the other question was, can you make this into a burger patty?
Yes, I actually put that on the recipe. Great. I put it on my recipe. I'm not sure
if it ended up on the other one.
That was my thought. If you just
it does say, yep, can make it into a veggie burger patty as an alternative. It does have that on the recipe as well. Yeah,
you know what?
Good validation.
Yeah, I'm gonna just segue. I'm putting a garlic in there, so I'm gonna go get my little garlic press.
Great questions, you guys.
So I have this is one of my other favorite tools is a garlic press. I love my garlic press. So I'm going to just press some garlic in there very quickly. And so we are going to have half with garlic and half without. That'll make me feel a little better.
That just goes to show how adaptable this recipe is, right? You can do half and half. Half the family likes garlic, half of them don't. You can adapt it.
Right. Those kids who don't want garlic. Okay, so I will continue on. Actually, maybe I'll make a couple. So make a couple bigger ones. What we're looking for is when we're cooking it, that the outside's getting a little crispy. So we'll start at 20 minutes. Again, as I was saying, the ovens all kind of are variable depending upon how they work and the amount of area. Like my Breville, it's kind of small, so it cooks. I feel like it cooks a little more efficiently because of the small surface area space in there.
Jen, I wonder if an air fryer might work, or even the air fryer for reheating it might make it a little crispy on the outside as well. Yeah.
I am going to get one at some point. It's just I can't in my mind warrant my oven still works. So buying one with the air fryer attachment, it will definitely be something I will look for.
Yeah. We had one other question come in from Judy. She said convection oven to crisp. Question mark.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
You could definitely. That would work. So what I did when I made it before it, in about 20 minutes, it got, you know, kind of crispy on the outside. And then what I did was once it was heated and crispy, then I put it in a nonstick pan and sauteed it in just a little bit of olive oil. So then it would just kind of coat it with, you know, the rich olive oil. But then, you know, I was kind of doing it reverse. Sometimes you'll see to take it in this step, right? And then saute it. But a lot of times that'll make it stick to the pan. So I thought, well, okay, I'm going to bake it first and then we'll saute it after. And that worked out really well. So I'm going to pop this in the oven unless anybody has any questions at this point.
They look great. Any other questions, you guys, about the meatballs or the black bean balls? I don't know what we want to call them.
Bean balls. I don't know. Yeah.
They look good.
Okay. All right. I'll put them in. And then I'm going to need just a minute to clean out my food processor because I'm going to use it again. So
Okay.
give me a sec and I will be right back. The clean bowl.
Very good. And yes, Laura, they do kind of look like no bake cookies. Much more nutrition in them. So any other questions, or else you can pop up the next recipe that we'll be going over, which will be the save the tuna salad, the chickpeas for beans. This time we did black beans. Next one will be chickpeas.
And I have all the ingredients here. So I'll get them out.
And beans are such a great way to increase our fiber.
Oh boy, yeah.
Yep.
I actually just gave it a good wipe out because it is, you know, we're just doing beans and beans.
Yeah, right. Beans and beans.
Yeah. So I instant potted some dry chickpeas, and I love these chickpeas. I've been finding lately in the stores that chickpeas tend to be in the cans tend to be really hard. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah, I have. There are some brands that are more firm than others, especially if you're trying to mash it with a fork or something like that for this kind of a salad. So you actually bought the dried ones and started from scratch, pressure cooked them.
I did. You know, I found out about it from Dr. Jun. And it's this brand you can order online, and it's free shipping. And it's called, they're from Washington State. It's Palouse, P-A-L-O-U-S-E brand. And they've got a really interesting video on how they farm their lentils, but they have lentils there too. But the chickpeas are just wonderful. So I actually cooked up a bunch. And then I had, this is 2 cups. But they cook up super soft. And you can see how well that they mash.
Probably great for hummus too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm going to do with the rest of it.
Yeah.
Or some of it. Because I figure, well, if I'm going to cook chickpeas, the wonderful thing about dried beans, and I love chickpeas personally, is, you know, you can cook up whatever your Instant Pot will hold, right? And then you can freeze it in Ziploc bags, you know, a sandwich bag size or a quart size, and then just use them as you need them, you know, of course, and then also make some hummus. Yeah. So I just wanted to show you that before we get started.
And if not, you guys, just the canned chickpeas is, you know, that's a good starting point. Yeah. Don't feel like you have to pressure cook and do all of that meal prep. The canned ones are good too.
I'm trying to think about which ones I have enjoyed. I think you know, it wasn't this way before, but I think it's like the S&W brand is the one that I found is the softest right now, you know, not as hard.
Okay.
And they actually have an organic one too. I don't know if it's the organic or not, but yep, there's a lot of brands out there to choose from. And if you're going to process it, that's, you know, that's fine. It's not like you're just putting it straight into a curry or something.
Right. Right. Yeah. Somebody else, it sounds like, has tried that same brand and echoed your sentiments that it's outstanding. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. Great. Thank you, Dr. Junt.
Yeah. I'm going to take note of that one too, because I haven't heard of that one. So I will,
and
I will have to get into my advanced practice of doing the dried beans. And
if you happen to, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
If you happen to go on the website, they have these red lentils that are, they have the skin on. So they're, I think they're called brown lentils, but it's actually the red lentils that they just haven't taken the skin off. And those make such wonderful stews. Just the flavor of that is just amazing. So, yeah, it's got free shipping. I would, get that too.
And can you only buy them online? They don't have them in stores here?
No, I haven't seen them in stores.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, but and you can, it's available from the farm as well as through Amazon, and the shipping's free both ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great tip.
Yeah. So we've got our chickpea save the tuna salad. So we've got the celery. I guess I'll just go ahead and start putting it together. Does that work?
Yep, that works.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to put my 2 cups of chickpeas in here. And then I have, again, some red onions. Now, if you're not, I try and bring this up is just because I'm not a big raw red onion fan. If you want to just kind of take away a little bit of the bite of onions, when you have it served raw, you can rinse water over it, like in a fine mesh strainer, and that'll take away some of the, I keep saying bite, but sting or.
No, I think that's the right word. And does it, you should do that, rinse it after it's been chopped, or does it matter? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you can or can't, you know, whatever you like. Some people really like that flavor. I have some chopped celery. It's kind of finely chopped. And I have some salt and pepper. And I have mustard. You can use any kind of mustard you like. This one is Dijon. I'm a fan of Ballpark too. Some people aren't. I grew up Ballpark mustard. And then I have relish. And I just wanted to show you, I tend to put my relish in a little strainer, and because it, just to get the extra liquid out. So I let
Can you move it a little bit more under?
I'm sorry,
yeah, there you
go.
Yeah.
So I just have this cute little strainer. So it gave me about 2 tablespoons of liquid with it just sitting here after I prepped. And one of the things I've started to do is I tend to have a pretty well-stocked fridge. So I add half dill and half sweet relish. I grew up in a house where we had everything was sweet, you know, sweet relish. We've never had dill relish in our house, but yeah, it's kind of nice, you know, for cooking with people. I have the dill, and it's nice to have the kind of the combo of both if you just happen to have it in your fridge.
So when you mean dill, do you mean like the green, like the raw dill, plant dill, or?
No, I meant like the dill relish, isn't it?
Dill relish. Oh, okay.
Yeah, instead of like sweet pickle relish, it's dill pickle relish.
I see. I see.
Yeah, yeah. But along that lines, I happen to have fresh dill in the house, so I'm going to add dill to this recipe just because it works really well.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I'm a fan of dill.
Yeah, yeah. And I have fresh parsley. And then this is just something that I do. I'm going to first, I'm not going to add the carrots till the end. because sometimes the carrots will make the whole thing look pretty orange, which is kind of like that picture. See, it didn't take much. Some people like, you know, this is where you can use your, you know, with cooking and food prep, you know, you do it how you like it. Do you want your chickpeas processed really fine? Do you want it kind of chunky? What is your preference? I like it a little chunky. I tend to like everything a little chunky personally. So I've got my carrots, and then this is veganase. And there's several different kinds of veganase. If you haven't used that before, they have different colored caps, and the caps connotate what the type of oil they use. So for instance, let me show you. I've got two in the fridge. I have a blue and green. So the green one, this is Follow Your Heart. Can you see? Is that right? Okay. This one is made with avocado oil. And then this one, the blue one, is like considered the original one, which is a non-GMO canola. Okay. And they taste just a little different based on the oil. They have grapeseed. They have organic canola. They have, I think, a safflower one, which is considered the low fat. But they have several brands.
Yep, and those are usually in the refrigerator type of section, yeah?
Yes, they're in the refrigerated section, and it depends upon the neighborhood, but I actually find it in several of the Safeways in town here in Honolulu. As well as like Whole Foods and Down to Earth. I think where else. Sometimes I used to find it at Times. I don't think I see it there anymore. Okay, so if you can see, I've got it kind of chunky, sticking together, and you can see everything in it. And I'm going to see, what do I have here? Put some in a bowl of some Manoa raised lettuce from Manoa that is a romaine style, red leaf romaine.
Yeah, the presentation is always key, right? Look how beautiful it looks. Just looks inviting.
Yeah. Yeah, this is such a wonderful thing to have around to nosh on. Cucumber, I really like it on with cucumber slices.
Oh, so you could use it like a dip for veggies?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I also like to put it on a piece of like a sandwich, like a piece of the Ezekiel bread.
Oh, yeah.
You know, toast that up, and then I put that on top, so it's like an open-faced sandwich, a little heartier for a lunch or something.
Slice of avocado. Yeah, I used to like it. There used to be Agnes's Bake Shop had this really wonderful pita bread. I used to love it.
Oh, yes, some pita bread would be great.
Or in like tortilla wraps. Oh, that's wonderful.
A wrap. Yep. Yep. Can travel pretty easily.
Yes.
Stay in the fridge for a couple of days at least.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Any questions? Does this seem like something you'd see yourself doing?
So this is, the tuna salad. I wanted to show you this too. Speaking of chickpeas, the chickpea tuna is chickpea rotini. I don't know if you've seen that they have, there's a lot of different brands that they have chickpea pasta.
Yeah.
So that's another way you can
I
get
see more of the name brands. I mean, the brands we're familiar with pasta are now coming out with these kind of alternatives. I know at Costco the other day we just got some edamame pasta, and I tried that for the first time, and that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the chickpea, there's lentil pastas.
Right.
Look at all that plant protein, you guys. 21 grams plant protein. So nobody can ask you, where do you get your protein from? Powered by plants. Yeah, Barbara's saying it's tomorrow's lunch. Right on. I'll be right over for lunch tomorrow.
Well, I just wanted to show you while the black bean balls are still in the oven, but I had put together a plate of some of the ones that I had made the other day. So this is actually a gluten-free pasta from Italy with the black bean balls that are a little bit bigger, on the bigger side, with a little bit of marinara and chopped greens.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look how hearty that looks. And you know, and
Yeah.
then like you said, if you have the noodles that are kind of plant-based noodles and that and the sauce, and that looks beautiful. Yeah, people are seconding that it looks beautiful and hearty.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, they do it, and they're saying the recipes look nice and easy. I love, like, if you haven't invested, you may consider investing in that food processor for doing some of these types of recipes, because it does, as you can see, cut the time in half with all of that mixing.
Yeah, I tell you, between my food processor and my, a blender, I have, Vitamix, I tell you those, and I'm sorry, then my pressure cooker or an Instant Pot. Those are like the three things that I think are so helpful to speed along and make life easy in the kitchen.
Yep, you can invest in your in your kitchen appliances. Somebody was asking, do you have any particular preference in brand of food processor?
No, I'm one of those people that shops secondhand, so it's whatever. This was actually a gift. It was a KitchenAid. I have liked Black & Decker in the past. I do. It's actually more of size. I like to have it about 5 to 7 cups, so that you have, a good enough size to do some of these things. I actually have a smaller one that was gifted to me, just for like processing the nuts. That's good for that kind of a thing. But I'd like to have the larger one. And then there's usually the next jump is like the 11 cup. But I find that's a little too big because you can't really catch things if it's too big.
And store it. Are you going to store that thing?
Store it. Yeah. Mine actually live on the countertop, so even more so.
You use them frequently.
My things are always out, except for the Instant Pot. I put that one away. But I think that if you can find them, they're such helpful tools.
Yeah, they make it easier because a lot of people, right, they complain, oh, the chopping, you have to chop so much stuff. And that can definitely help to cut some of that time down.
And then in regards to the burgers, what I would do is I would, form it in, obviously, it's a burger patty size. And I would, I would think either way, you could put them on, I have like a cast iron skillet or a nonstick pan. But I would think I'd actually do the same process where I would partially bake them ahead of time, and then do the final right before, just kind of crisp them in a nonstick pan. If you don't want to do that final step, then maybe you can baste both sides of your burger with a little bit of olive oil, just to give it a little richness. And if you're just going to bake it straight through.
Great tips.
I would think that would be delicious. I'm envisioning, like, I have this recipe for like avocado chimichurri. I could just see that on top of a burger. That would be just delicious.
That would be really nice. Very good. Let's see. Judy was asking, does vegan allow milk products like Greek yogurt? So Judy, typically no. It would not allow the animal products. There are a lot of alternatives like cashew yogurt and soy yogurts and different things like that people would probably buy as a substitute. Yeah.
There's a lot of options nowadays, which is so wonderful.
Then one person was asking, what is the serving size for the garbanzo beans? You know how many that serves?
The chickpeas is about 2 cups, the can, and then you've got the other ingredients are maybe a half a cup, once it's, so 2.5. It depends on how much you eat. I mean,
Mhm.
I could eat a good half cup, probably 3/4 of a cup at a time.
Yeah.
You know, I really like it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You know, if I make it, I usually get about 3 servings out of it, but that's if I put
mhm.
it on like some toast or eat it with some whole grain crackers or
Yeah,
tortilla or
yeah,
something, you know, so
right.
you kind of bulk it up a little bit, you can stretch
Mhm,
it.
mhm,
But that's for me personally, but yeah, you can get a couple
right,
servings.
right. That's always hard, you know, when they say about servings, because there's like, it's so subjective. Like,
It
how are you going to
is.
serve it? How do you eat, right? You know? Yeah,
Yeah, and again, that's why sometimes that larger food processor is good. So if you do have a family you're feeding, you know, you can
right.
double it up um,
Mhm,
and have leftovers too. If it's just for yourself, I like to do that. Oh,
right, right.
very good. And then any other questions, you guys? Or Chef Alyssa, if you want to put out the, you have the chickpea one, we can put the 2 of them side by side.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
out
get
there.
it.
See?
Here we
Look
go.
at that.
Yeah, thinking the same
And Judy
way.
said, does vegan include fish? No, Judy, it would eliminate all the animal products. Anything that comes from an animal would be eliminated. But again, think of it as a spectrum. It doesn't mean you have to, you know, if people are interested in this, you don't have to go, oh, tomorrow I have to cut all these things out and never eat it again. You could have 1 meal a week, right? Be this, or a lunch, or
Mhm,
just focus
mhm.
on 1 meal and then slowly start to kind of get more recipes into your playbook, get more comfortable. The ingredients can
Right.
take a little bit of time if you're not used to it and build up that confidence. So, yeah. Oh, I think, are you asking, Laura, are you asking about a good yogurt? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't, if that's what you're asking. I have not found a good replacement yogurt. I typically just don't buy
Mm,
yogurt anymore.
yogurt for
Like the
maintenance?
cashew
Is that
yogurts
what?
or the soy yogurts, you know, the vegan yogurts in the store.
Oh, yeah, but not like a substitute for this. Just
No,
in
I think it's a
general.
separate question. Yeah.
The one that I found that I enjoyed is Kite Hill has a Greek yogurt.
White Hill.
I think that,
Okay.
yeah, I think that's almond, but uh, yeah, the coconut, that Cocoa June, that
Mm.
one seems to
Yep,
be
there's some that are
popular
made out of
too.
coconut milk. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, it's like how are you using it? Is it like breakfast or are you putting it in as a replacement for something
For
else?
something else, an ingredient.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to
Um,
answer.
see, Natasha asks, is flaxseed always used to replace eggs?
Oh, well, flax is a good source of omega-3. So it is, no, it's it's a good binder. I use it in a lot of different things. So I'm trying to think back, you know, how I use it when I use it more as a binder. So I don't know if that's really
Yeah, so mostly if
an
you're baking or cooking, it's used
mhm,
as a replacement for an egg, where a lot of recipes might have an egg as the binder. You can
mhm.
use the flax egg as a substitute for that.
Right. And if you're not like, if you are like a real strict vegan, then it's a good way to get the omega-3s in. You could put it in like on top of your oatmeal in the morning, you know, kind of how some people would do wheat germ, or, you know, you could sprinkle it on. It's a good source of healthy
Yeah.
fats.
Okay, I think we answered her question. That's good. Peggy asked, if you use old dry bean, how long should the bean? I'm not sure I'm not sure I quite understand the question. If you use old dry bean, how long should the bean? I mean, how long should it be cooked, maybe, the dry beans? Probably depends.
Yeah, if it was old and dry, I probably wouldn't use it. Uh, I mean, that would be my thought. I mean, I have had bad experience with trying to cook something and it like never cooked, and then I would cook it another hour and then it didn't cook, and so I don't know if I'd want to go down the path of
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yep. So he said, can you freeze the prepared chickpea salad and black bean meatballs?
I would freeze the meatballs. I wouldn't freeze the chickpea salad because the
Yeah, I would
mayonnaise
agree with
involved
that too.
there. Yeah, Mhm.
Yeah, freeze the meatballs. Don't freeze the chickpea salad. Eat that one fresh. Let's see. And we've got a recommendation for a coconut yogurt. Thanks for that. And
Mhm.
then how long you soak the beans before you cook it.
Oh, I soaked them overnight.
Okay.
I'd say, yeah, probably a good 6 hours. Let them hydrate.
If you're using it from dried beans, you
Yes,
guys, but you
yes,
can also
yes.
use a can, so don't
Yes, you can use a
miss that
can. I
can.
just wanted to show
Yep,
you these because I thought
yeah.
they were so
No,
wonderful.
that was a great tip. I
Mhm.
think some people are pretty excited about that one.
Especially if you have an Instant Pot. Wow, that's so
Yeah.
easy to do.
Good. Okay. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'm going to wrap up with some information too. You can keep thinking of your questions. I can keep asking them, but I do want to share just a little bit of closing information as well. Any closing thoughts from you, Alyssa, before I kind of
No,
put the
just
screen
that
back
we
up?
have our next class is a mushroom class. So that's
Yes.
April. Yeah.
That's part of what we
So
want to
that's
say.
going to
So
be
no
fun.
class in March, you guys,
Yeah.
because Alyssa's going to be traveling, gathering all new inspiration for recipes. And then we will have class in April. And that will be, yes, the magic with mushrooms, which was one of our favorites from last year that people
Yeah.
really enjoyed. Get
Yeah.
lots of tips on that. Lots of people were cooking with mushrooms. So let me put this up here. While this is loading. Tasha asked, do we do a tofu class? And yes, we have a class called Tips and Tricks with Tofu, I believe, coming up. All right, let's see. So we checked on this one. So here, like I said, is the next class, you guys. So April 22nd, mark your calendars, 5 to 6 p.m. Topic Magic with Mushrooms. No class in March. You can reserve your spot. I will put it in the chat here as well, 432-2260. And then in your confirmation email, one of the attachments was the flyer for the year. So you can look at all the class dates for the year and what the meal topics are going to be. So you can pick and choose the ones that are most relevant to you. And then just a reminder, if this is an area that you are working on and you would like some more support with it, partner up with our wellness coaches. I'm one of them. Allison's one of them. We've got other friendly people that are here ready and waiting to help you set some goals. If you want that accountability, if you're finding yourself like, hey, I go to the class, but I'm not really doing anything with these recipes, then you need us, right? We're going to call and say, hey, did you make that recipe? What did you find? Did you try this ingredient? We can help you answer questions. So I encourage you to reach out a couple different ways, call the phone number, or you can log in to kp.org, go into the appointments tab, and you can make an appointment yourself there as well. And just a quick plug for many of our other wonderful classes that we have. If you haven't checked them out, they're all offered virtually, whether you're looking at a specific health condition like diabetes or pre-diabetes or heart health. We've got a Viva Veggies class, which our dietitians teach, that dive a little deeper into the plant-based diet and the why scientifically, medically, that you might want to really consider this. We have a part 1 and part 2 for that to build upon it. So just hope that you'll check out many of our classes that we have. And I think that's it. We're about ended. Let me see. Let me check in the chat here for any other questions. Let's see. Carol said, regarding cooking old dried beans, they may never plump up. I soaked fresh wing bean seeds to plant, and half of them never softened up. Oh, interesting. Yep.
Those were wing beans. Yeah, does that fall into that? How does that work, wing beans? I don't know. They fall into the bean category, wing beans.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. And then Laura says the paper says 325, but you said 322. And is that for?
322?
Oh, wait, she said she made a mistake, she thinks. Okay.
Oh, this is 350.
Yeah, March 20th. I was talking about, I think you're referring to the April class there,
Oh,
Laura.
oh, oh,
April will be
oh, oh,
April
okay.
22nd. Yeah, today is what day is today? Yeah, or next, yes. There we go. Yeah. Okay, great. Any other questions? You guys got about 5 more minutes, so we got Chef here to help answer anything for you. In fact, I'm going to take this back down so we can keep looking at the beautiful food that you have. And any questions that you may have?
Other beans you might want to try are like the the pinto beans. Of course, they're really popular, right? A lot you can do with pinto beans, kidney beans. Cannellini beans are just wonderful. They're like a soft white kidney bean. Those are great in soups.
Yes.
You can blend them in lots of different things. They're a good binder too. So there's a lot of wonderful different kinds of canned or dried beans you can try in recipes.
Yeah, well, you gave us a lot of inspiration for new ways to get beans. It's not something we all grew up with, right? Cooking with beans, unless it's chili, right? We're used to beans and chili, and outside of that, we don't always come up with ways to incorporate that into our daily diet. In fact, we want to get about a half a cup of beans a day if we can, at least. Let's see, Judy said, where are the wellness coaches listed on the website, or is it pop up who we get for a coach? So I believe when you go to the appointments tab, they are listed in alphabetical order. The coaches, so by name, and then just know that we have kind of limited slots that we make available on kp.org. So if you're not seeing a time slot that works for you, you can always just call the 432-2260 and just tell them you want to meet with a coach, and they'll help you get slotted in a good spot, because we do have some coaches that work earlier mornings and some that work into the evening, so you get some choices there. Sarah said, yes, you can adjust vegan mayo ingredients to your taste. Yeah. Very good. Okay, any other questions, you guys? If not, I'm going to gift you back like 4 minutes in your day. So you can get cooking. Yeah. What can I use instead of veganase? I have an allergy to vinegar. Ooh, any ideas for that one?
Allergies to vinegar. Nothing is maybe just don't use it. I would think vinegar. So you could do like a vegan sour cream, but that's vinegar, right?
Oh, Cherie said blended silken tofu might work.
Yes, you could do blended silken tofu. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good suggestion.
Yeah. Thanks, Cherie. Yeah. Oh, Sandra says I make it with lemon juice.
Okay. Maybe add some lemon juice to that silken tofu.
Yeah. Yeah. Get creative.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Test it out. Let us know. Come back next time and let us know.
Give us your feedback.
What you came up with. Yeah. Good questions, you guys. All right. Anything else?
Nope, I got the meatballs coming out of the oven.
Oh, I bet your house smells really good.
It does. It does.
Oh,
and so they're nice.
You have dinner already.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and how easy would it be to just boil up a pot of noodles on the stove while that's cooking up, maybe get a green salad or something going, and boom, you've got dinner. Yeah, people are saying it looks yummy. I think it looks yummy too. Yeah. That's good. You're welcome, Barbara. Thanks for coming. Yeah. And I hope to see you all next time and telling us how this tasted, and if you're testing it out on your family, or if not, you know what, again, they can cook what they want and you still have your meal prep of stuff for the week. And that's kind of how I like to do it too. You're welcome. Any other last remarks? Oh, good. Sandra says she's inspired. Mahalo.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mahalo for the ideas. Yeah. Thank you guys for showing up. You're welcome. Oh, great. Can't wait to try the recipes. Yep. Wishing you a safe trip.
Thank you.
Let's see. Oh, and Cynthia and Eldon, they want the recipe for last month. Yeah, so I've got you on the list. I sent a message to to John, so I will check back with him and make sure for those of you that wanted last month's video, if he sent that out, and then the recipes would be in there. You're welcome. Yeah. You're welcome, you guys. Happy eating, happy cooking. Hopefully it all seems very doable, right? You know, for some people, right, they're not as adept in the kitchen, or it's a little intimidating sometimes. Yeah. Hopefully these make it a little achievable. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, but we're still here if there's any other questions. Otherwise, have a great evening, you guys. We'll see you next time. And Alyssa, I do think this new camera holder worked really well.
Yeah, now I gotta figure out how
Yeah.
to store it.
Yeah.
All good.
All good. Okay. Good. Okay. Well, it seems like we've got everybody. Everybody's kind of signing off. So I will let us sign off as well. Have a great evening, Chef Alyssa. Thanks again, as always. Safe travels, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Okay. Aloha. Bye-bye.